the Niners win a game like that, and I'm reading game stories, and everyone's praising the offense for being clutch and leading long drives, and they definitely played their part. But let's be clear. Just because the quarterback is the most important player on a team doesn't mean that's the first person they should be praising after a win like this, because the defense was freaking terrific. What was your evaluation of this performance?
I agree with you. I feel like there's too much conversation about what the offense did. And look, those two long drives, they were mighty impressive. Take nothing away.
They
They
were
were
clutch.
impressive, and we're going to talk about it very soon. But this defense is what won them the football game, and special teams with Javon Kinlaw making one play that Javon Kinlaw just makes that play. Nobody else is, you can't control that. You can't coach that. It's just Javon Kinlaw going and making a play with the block field goal. But really, with the way the offense started this game, if it wasn't for clutch stops at every area from this defense, it looked like the Niners would have been down 17-0. And the way the offense moved the ball in this game and the way they were able to score, I don't think they would have been able to overcome a 17-0 deficit, especially the way Philadelphia's defensive line came out
Say
early
that
in
again,
that
real
game.
quick. How could it have been 17-0 had Kinlaw not gotten that amazing block? Had Lenore not pushed Rieger out of bounds by like a
Yeah.
centimeter, and
And
had
had
Hart,
Hart not walked down Quez Watkins, it would
that's
actually
the
been
game,
20-0 because they kicked a field goal up on top of that.
right? That's the game,
And
right there.
and this defense came to play. To me, this defense, I thought it would be special before the season. Week 1 was a little bit rough in a lot of areas. Week 2 was phenomenal. I have Nick Bosa. He's back to being Nick Bosa. He's what everybody thought he would be. He's a
Mm-hmm.
dominant player. Fred
Yep.
Warner. Fred Warner is just the best middle linebacker in the NFL. There's nothing more to say on it. He's unbelievable. And then the two safeties. I've been talking about the two safeties ever
Mm-hmm.
since we started this show a year ago. And I feel like I've changed a lot of minds on the two safeties, but I also feel like a lot of people still push back heavy.
Hold on, we're gonna tease that one. We're gonna get to the safeties in a minute. We're
Okay,
gonna
we're
we're
gonna
gonna
get to
break
the
out and talk
safeties in a
about
minute.
them. But before we get to the safeties, we're gonna save them because that's the biggest part of the defensive discussion. They were so freaking clutch. But it's just a little teaser. Let's go to the corners first. They stepped up.
Deommodore Lenoir is a player. Like
Yeah,
Deommodore Lenoir to me reminds me of Emmanuel Mosley,
me
and it's
too.
nothing to do with his physical ability. Like here, Emmanuel Mosley is longer, Emmanuel Mosley is faster. But I think it's indicative of what the Niners do get when they get these late round corners. And it's indicative of how opposite Akella Witherspoon was from the other corners that they've coveted. Akella Witherspoon's opposite in the sense that his movement skills and his physical talent is off the charts. It's higher than any level of corner maybe we've ever seen with I've personally ever seen the 49ers have. I mean, since I started watching football, 49ers football in 2004, there hasn't been a lot of really, really talented corners outside of maybe Carlos Rogers with the
Mm-hmm.
49ers. You're
And he
talking
was a
about
little
like
bit
top,
older when he got here. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So, I mean, Akella Witherspoon, in terms of just movement skills, hips, speed, size, speed, all of that, he was unreal. But Lenore fits into the Mosley mold in
He
the
just
sense
wasn't
that
good.
great
There's
tackler,
that. Yeah, yeah.
great tackler. Lenore's a phenomenal tackler. Feisty competitor and has a lot of confidence. Lenore doesn't get shaken by anything. And that's the same thing with Mosley.
Mosley.
We saw Mosley have games where he's been, DeAndre Hopkins picked on him week 1, but every time he comes back, he plays with the same confidence. They play smart. They tackle really well. They play aggressive. They're feisty. And to me, Lenore is just a keeper. I was a little skeptical, honestly, of the pick because a fifth round corner with his height, weight, speed, you're not really sure. But his intangible effect on this team, his patience at the line of scrimmage, all these kinds of things, these little things, I think
He
are
looks
going
like
to
a
make
solid
him have a
starter.
really long career.
He looks like a solid starter for sure.
Yeah,
I thought he really actually got the best of Devontae Smith. Am I wrong?
I thought he did too.
That's really
I
impressive.
thought
Now
there
I'm
were
not sure
so
how
many
good.
little things.
Yeah,
I thought
I'm
there
not.
were so many little things he did in terms of, first of all, even the Jalen Rager out of bounds. He stayed in phase with Jalen Rager for most of
Yeah,
that play, and Jalen Rager runs 4.4, and Lenore's a 4.5
faster.
guy,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
he was able to use his body and use the sideline really, really well.
That
He
was
to me,
clutch.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's a good player, and to me, he's the standout draft pick. I was talking to somebody a little bit before I hinted to you about this that was telling me, that the one draft pick they feel can contribute this year is Lenore. The rest of them question marks. And that person who told me that, very, very knowledgeable person about the 49ers, is absolutely right because Lenore is contributing. Yes,
Yeah,
it was not Grant. I was
not me.
telling Grant that I was
It's
told
true.
this by that person. Yeah.
Yeah. So good for Lenore. The one thing I did see, and I mean, look, he wasn't a first round pick. He definitely isn't the perfect cornerback prospect. You saw him give up the 91-yard catch that could have been a 97-yard touchdown if not for Jaquaski Tartan. Then we'd be getting on Lenore right now. I do think his best qualities will get him in trouble sometimes because he's very aggressive. In press man, I mean, he stands there like he's Jalen Ramsey. He's like, what? I love this kid. He's great. He's very confident, but he doesn't have 4.3 speed, and
You
that
know,
Kurt Watkins kid does.
I
So
I would
yeah,
I actually wouldn't have gotten on him if Quez Watkins scored that touchdown. I feel like it was a bad spot. They blitzed. They tried to get him
right,
down.
right.
Hurts stood right there. And you want to talk about a hell of a deep ball under
I
pressure?
like
That
Hurts.
was a rocket ball. And then Quez
Yeah,
Watkins' run is legit 4-3. And Lenore, if you're Lenore,
true.
right, you're the guy is throwing from his own end zone. You're blitzing. Obviously, you're not thinking they're
Nope,
gonna go
he got
straight by
fooled a
you
little
and
bit.
throw a
He got
go,
fooled a little bit,
right?
and I
And
think there
so
was a
like
little bit of like a stutter go. I think there was a little bit of a fake. I want to say from Kes Watkins. Anyway, the
he
only
can
thing I'm
run.
looking at with Lenore is he's very confident. They're confident in him. The Eagles definitely were more interested in going after him than Norman for whatever reason. I mean,
Hmm.
if you look at Hertz's passing chart, it's a bunch of 4-yard passes and a ton of shots up the right sideline or the Niners left sideline. And I don't know what they thought they saw, but that's what all they wanted to do. Maybe it suited their
It
personnel better. Maybe
I,
Hurts is more comfortable throwing up the right sideline than the left. I don't know.
So I was going to make that
Yeah,
observation. To me, that
maybe.
was the big TV takeaway. I'd love to go back and watch this on film, and then I'd love to go back and watch the first game Jalen Hurts played against Atlanta because I think Lenore's their starting left cornerback, right?
Yes,
Yeah. To me, Hurts only threw the ball right. He rolls to his right every time. He doesn't roll to his
it's true.
left, and to me, he
That's true.
only throws the ball right.
It's true. That's a good point. There were some
That's
throws
how
to the
I.
left, but they were
That's
all
how
like
I.
4-yard throws. I think you're absolutely
Yeah,
right. There was nothing
that's
over the
how I
middle.
saw it on the broadcast. I'd
Nothing
love to go
over the
back and
middle.
actually see it, but I thought, yeah, he's not an over the middle thrower. I mean, it requires a little bit more anticipation and patience from the pocket, and he doesn't have that
Right.
at this point, in my
No, he
opinion.
doesn't. Absolutely not. Now I thought when Verrett and Mosley were healthy that Verrett was the right corner and Mosley was the left corner. So I don't know exactly where Lenore will end up if Mosley comes back, but doesn't really matter for now.